What I want to introduce to you is a simple trade setup that I learned years and years ago, back when I first started trading futures, and it works great. And I thought for the ES Live chat room comrades that I would just take a quick review of it today and show you how it works. It has nothing to do with Elliott waves or fibs or anything like that. So that's the good part of it. So what this whole deal is based on is in a strongly trending market, what you want to do is buy the pullbacks. It's very similar to the RSI trade, except we use a couple different indicators here. So what we want to do is buy on pullbacks, and it works on any instrument and any time frame. So you can use it on a weekly chart, you can use it on a 1 minute chart or a 60-minute chart, whatever you want to use it on. So what I've got here today is a 5 minute chart, ES chart, and I'll show you an actual trade today that worked. And I'll go back and show you some other ones too. So the only two parameters you need, the only two indicators you need is a 20 EMA, which you can see on the blue line on the top, and just a regular old 14 look back ADX here. So that's all you need, two indicators right here. So what you want to do is buy the pullback. But first of all, how do you define, according to this trade setup, a strongly trending market? And that would be, and you guys can see, I guess you can see this 30% right here on the ADX. When this is above 30 and price touches the 20 EMA, this is when you want to get into the trade. So it's got to be above 30. That defines a trend. Now remember, on the short side, it's just the opposite. And this EMA does not mean bullish or bearish. It just means it's trending. So if you wanted to get into a short trade, it still has to be above 30, but you do the exact opposite as I'm going to define with you on a long trade. So here was an actual trade this morning that triggered, and you can see right here, ADX is above 30 right here. So price touched the EMA right here. And what you want to do is enter your buy stop above the previous bar's high. So this bar stop right here, the high was 43.59.75. That's when you want to get into this trade right here. And your stop is going to be below the low right here, which would be 43.54.50 right here. So when you enter that bar right there, now this is what sometimes it gets kind of close, but you want to take your first profit at the previous swing. So there wasn't a lot of profit in there. But a lot of times what will happen is this thing will keep going. So let me review that again. The ADX has to be above 30. Price has to touch the 20 EMA. You enter on the previous bar high, and you want to get out at the previous swing, which would be here. And this is not a lot, but a lot of times this is further above this. And your stop is right here at this bar right here. So that's the setup. And here's another setup right here. You can see right here, ADX is above 30 right there. So you want to enter on the previous bar at 43.54.5 with your stop below the swing low. You take your profit at the most recent swing high. And if you want to, when I used to like to do, I still do like to do, if I take this setup, you can take some off right here and let this thing ride as long as you want to right here. Here's another one right here, another setup right here that occurred. Okay, ADX is above 30, price pull back right here. You entered on the previous bar high right here. And here's your previous swing high right here where you take some off, and your stop is below this swing right here. You probably would have got stopped out on that one, but you would have made some money on this swing right here. So that's the way the Holy Grail works. Any questions on that? I told you it was simple. This trade right here was a good trade. I got out of it before I went on the air, but I just traded two contracts ES in this paper trading account right here, and I could have gotten some more out of it. And like I said, you can take this up to a daily chart or anything you want to work like that. Look at right there and get these trade setups. So one more time, price above the 30 ADX touches the trend line or goes below the trend line. You place the trade buy stop at the high of the previous bar. You stop below the previous swing right here and ride it up. What you want to do is get out at the previous high right here, take some off. This was not a really good one because it wasn't that much higher, but this trade still worked out pretty good. You bought the dip. What I'm going to try and do is, as the summer progresses and summers are kind of slow, I'm going to try and just go over some setups with you guys other than fib and Elliott waves and stuff. And there's a lot of good little simple setups out there we can use that really make money. Marianne, can you clarify stop below previous swing? Yeah, sure. Let's look at this trade right here then. Okay, this was the bar that that touched or went below the 20 EMA, and RSI is above 30. So you entered right here at the top of this bar, 43.59.75. So you can put a buy stop there, and your stop is going to be a tick or so below this last swing low, which would have been 43.54.75. So 43.54.50 or 25 or something like that. And even though it tried to get you, but you would have taken some off here. It never did go back below this stop. So what you can do is take some off here and just either keep your stop there or tighten it up as the trade progresses. Does that help, Marianne? But just below the swing low, right here. This one right here. Let's see, this one right here. It pulled back here. You would have gotten in right here, and your stop would have been right here, just below that swing low. And you want price to take out the recent high, which is right here. This one. This one, you got in right here, and you would have bought it right here. It went above this recent swing high right here, so you would have taken some off, and you probably would have gotten stopped out right here on this one. So for fun, you can paper trade this. I mean, put up a 5-minute ES chart or MES chart or anything you want to, and just paper trade it because it's a fun little setup. And I remember she writes about it and says it's one of the easiest patterns to manually trade. And I think she'd write about that. Okay. Okay, let's look at this then. First of all, we want to see where JKS might pull back below the 20 EMA, right? Right there. So we drop on down here to the 30. JKS is above the 30, right? Right. So previous bar before this touch was right here. So we'd have a buy stop at 60.71. With me? Okay. So our stop, when we got in right here, our stop would be right below this. Right below this little doji right here. So we get in here, our stop is right here. Let me turn this pointer. Stop is right here. Our previous swing high was right here at 62.12. That would be our first take profit, 62.12. And it eventually took it out right here. And we didn't hit our stop yet. So either you can take it all off here or ride it out for a while, up to you. And I failed to mention one other thing to you guys too. So if you pull back right here, we're going to enter on the previous bar high, which would be right here, with a stop. Let me make it bigger. With a stop of right here. So we enter right here, stop below the previous swing, enter, swing high is up here, previous swing high is up here. Or you could have even used this as a swing high with your stop right here. So let's say it hits this little pivot right here. You're out. You're still in. You're still in. You're still in. And if you didn't change your stop, you'd have been stopped at right here. Now, the other thing I didn't mention in this, guys, is if you get stopped out in this trade, re-enter it at your your previous price you got back into it. Let me say that again. If you get stopped out in this trade, re-enter at the same place you entered before with the same stop and the same take profit. The ADX has always got to be above 30 for longs or short, and you just do the exact opposite for a short. So if the ADX is above 30, price crosses above the 20 EMA, you can short it. If you want to look at this stock on a daily time frame, good. But these trades are mostly short term. They are short term trades, and it was in her book. Linda Raschke wrote a book called Street Smarts: High Probability Short Term uh, Trading Strategies, and also co-authored by Larry Connors, who you know did RS2. So this is some of their stuff. And you know Larry Connors has got a lot of short-term trades. So this right here, right now, this JKS right now, this is a 15-minute chart. You can see the ADX is above 30. Here's your 20. So if the ADX stays above 30 and this touches this line right here, this would be a good scalp long. This would be your first take profit up here. But you can sit there and watch some of these stocks. Let's do an Apple. Okay, here's a Facebook. Let's see, here's the 30 right here. And it's above 30 right now. ADX is above 30. But touch the AMA right here. You could have entered right here at 352.86, taken some off here at the previous swing high. Let's see, 352.80, 354, and you could have kept some. You could have kept some going, and you'd had a nice trade right there. That's a pretty good example right there. Okay, Peter. The whole deal is the ADX has got to be over 30, and you buy any pullback that touches the EMA, and you use as an entry the a buy stop on the previous bar high, and you use as a stop the previous swing low right here. Take some profit off it here, and you can move your stops up as you go along. But the ADX has got to be above 30. This is a 20 EMA, and this is just a 14 look back ADX. So let's look at another stock. Anybody got one they want to look at? No, EMA is 20. Any other stocks you want to look at? Let's try Tesla. Everybody loves to trade Tesla, right? So here's your EMA right now. It's above 30. So right here is a pullback, but we wouldn't touch it because this EMA is below 30. Right here. Okay, it is. I don't know if that's right or good or not right there. But and the other thing you notice is, guys, on this when you get these pullbacks, the a lot of times I can't find one right here. A lot of times this thing will fish hook up. You'll see it like a fish hooking up. The ADX will fish hook up when the trade starts. For ADX is just your standard run-of-the-mill 14 Wilder smooth look back. It's whatever your that's the standard default ADX on TOS and a lot of these platforms. So Peter, I showed this setup before. This was the one that happened this morning. I was just watching this on a 5-minute ES chart, and well, I took this trade. I just paper traded this, and it worked great. I wish I'd taken it live. And you can see right here the price went below the 20 right here. ADX was above 30 right here. You bought You bought it on the high of the previous bar right here. And the rules say you take it off at the previous swing high. You take some off at the previous swing high. And then you can just move your stops up as this same progresses right here. But that's the setup. And per chance, if you got stopped out on this right here, and let's say you entered right here, you get stopped out, enter it. The rule says enter at the same price right here. Re-enter the trade. You can see down here the parameters for the ADX. Look back 14. You know, let's see, studies, edit studies. There's the ADX parameters right there. All you need to do is set up 14 and Wilders. You see that, Murat? All there is. Trade just keeps on going. Okay. But very simple. You don't have to be a technician or a fundamentalist or anything. You just trade this little setup right here. Would you use this at any time? No, well, I can tell you in the old days I used it at any time. I mean, the more movement in the market, the better. But you can use it at any time. I don't know if anybody has has an alert or anything. That, like for instance, right here, when the ADX got above 30 and an alert went off, and you'd be tuned in to waiting for a pullback here. But see this one right here, that would have been close right there. I probably would have taken that one. So you would have taken this trade right here, got in at this high. This would have been your stop, and this is where you would take your first piece off right here and just move it on up. The Holy Grail, that's right. I've got a scan for it, Al, over on VectorVest. So I'll give you an example. Let's see. I just ran the scan, and CRM came up today. That's when it tagged it right there. It's above 30 right there, and it's dropping. But anyway, I've got a basic scan. I wouldn't take this one. I always have to look at this because I'm not. I don't have a lot of confidence in this VectorVest scan, but it picks up some candidates using this. Okay, then. If no more questions, I'm here. If you want to ask any questions, just put them up here, and I'll answer them.